Nick Offerman's next two major roles have a lot in common, and they create a trend that perfectly fits his post-Parks and Recreation career with a curious connection to his character in the series, Ron Swanson. Nick Offerman has appeared in a variety of movies and TV shows since the late 1990s, but he's best known for his unforgettable role as Ron Swanson in the sitcom Parks and Recreation. Offerman's deadpan-style performance, sarcastic lines, and perfect comedic timing made him stand out in Parks and Recreation, and since the show's end, he has shown his acting range in projects from other genres. Offerman's most notable projects after Parks and Recreation came to an end are the TV series Fargo, Good Omens, The Last of Us, and soon the Umbrella Academy Season 4, along with the movies Bad Times at the El Royale, Sing 2, and Dumb Money. Offerman's next big screen project is Alex Garland's dystopian action movie Civil War, set for an April 2024 release, and he now also has a TV project coming up. Offerman has been cast in Netflix's Death by Lighting, produced by Game of Thrones creators David Benioff and D.B. Weiss, and these two roles have a lot in common, including a fun connection to Parks and Recreation. Nick Offerman is playing a United States president in Civil War and Death by Lightning. Civil War will take viewers to a near future where a rapidly escalating Second American Civil War is engulfing the entire nation. The conflict is between the American government and the separatist, Western forces, led by California and Texas. Civil War will see a team of journalists traveling across the country, struggling to survive as the government becomes a dystopian dictatorship and partisan extremist militias commit war crimes. Nick Offerman plays the President of the United States, who has served for 3 terms and whose decisions and tactics are questioned by the characters, and he's also shown ordering attacks to stop the war. Netflix's Death by Lightning is based on Candace Millard's novel Destiny of the Republic and tells the story of U.S. President James Garfield's assassination by Charles Guiteau. Offerman will play Chester A. Arthur, the vice president to Garfield who, after Garfield's death, assumed the presidency and served the remainder of his term. Offerman, then, is playing 2 different U.S. presidents in his next 2 major roles, with one being a fictional leader and the other a very real one. Both characters will have different ways of dealing with the country's biggest issues, with one dealing with a deadly conflict and the other taking over the presidency after a tragedy. Nick Offerman playing presidents is perfect after Parks and Recreation. Parks and Rec Ron Swanson. Nick Offerman playing 2 presidents after Parks and Recreation is perfect and fun given what Ron Swanson thought about the government. Among the many things that made Ron stand out from his Parks and Rec colleagues was his hatred for the government despite working for it. Ron never missed a chance to share his thoughts on the flaws of the government and what his ideal government would look like, even describing this as one guy who sits in a small room at a desk, and the only thing he's allowed to decide is who to nuke, which is pretty much what he's doing in Civil War. Playing Chester A. Arthur is even more perfect as he's a real-life president, whom Ron Swanson surely would have had a lot to say about. The president in Civil War would fit with Ron's idea of a perfect government, as scary as it is, while Arthur would have been among the many things Ron criticized about the government, making both characters fitting for Nick Offerman in his post-Parks and Recreation career.